Feeling lost in the maze of CPS? Desperate to get your child back? You're not alone. Countless parents face the heart-wrenching reality of family separation. The legal system can be overwhelming, but there's hope.
Now, here's the key. Faith, that's how you win a 6-month hearing.
Thank you.
If you do all of those things, you're going to blow your social worker's mind, you're going to blow your attorney's mind, and you're going to blow away the judge.
With attorney Vincent W. Davis, a dedicated legal expert with 39 years of experience, committed to helping families like yours. Join his weekly live Q&A on Zoom, where you can ask your burning questions about CPS cases. Get the knowledge and strategies you need to fight for your child's return.
Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is a question and answer session.
Are you ready to take control of your family's future? Participate as a one-time guest. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the first step towards reuniting your family. Join us now.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host tonight to fight CPS and stop taking our children. Yes, that's right. CPS has been taking our children. They took mine, but I got them back. Now, I'm so glad to see you because I know you guys are going through a really rough time. Now, you found me on Facebook, Fight CPS with Bob Pace. Brought you to this room. This is a live podcast broadcast around the world. Not only do I have the 50 states in the United States listening, but I also have 20 countries listening. In those countries, they have bad CPS cases. It's a worldwide epidemic. I don't mean to say that CPS is all bad. But of the 900 people I've talked to in the past 15 months, it leads me to be that those people that dealt with CPS, and myself included, found CPS to be very corruptive, very rude. They lie. They take revenge. They don't want to help your case. And all they think about is making money, and lots of money. I'm talking $1 trillion. That's what they're all about. Now, I call the CPS, the Child Protection Systems. Every county and every state and every government and every world country will have an entity that deals with the protection of neglect and abuse. Protection of neglect and abuse of our children. Now, each county, each area, each country will probably have a different name. But when I say CPS, I mean them all. And sadly, my experience and the experience of 900 others have been really bad. They seem to have something in common. They prey on people that may have just recently lost a job, or maybe they're homeless through no fault of their own. They had a tragedy, a death of a spouse. There's a lot of things. Well, what CPS is notorious doing is taking advantage of those situations, advantage of those people. Like, I don't think any of you were trained, I wasn't, on how to deal with CPS or who is CPS and what they do. There's been countless stories have told me, and people have been in tears. I know the feeling. Because they're helpless. They don't see their child. You see, when they're supposed to protect their children and they're investigating the hearsay of what people call in, the lay people and the professionals, a lot of times it's bogus, but a lot of times they think it's real. And they come down hard on parents because they want that magic dollar number. And it doesn't seem them to bother them to break up families. They love to take your kids right away, whether you have extreme danger with them or not. My children weren't in danger at all. They're in school. The child protection system in Orange County put them in danger many times. through shelters, through group homes, through individual homes. I have 6 children I've raised, and 3 of them are older, and the younger ones are the young group. And now they're grown up. They're in their teens now, and one's in actually, 2 of them are in their 20s, but one's still 19. And 2 of them still live at home, but the other ones have family of their own. The sad part, one of my my youngest daughter, was stolen and brainwashed by CPS to emancipate her parents at the age of 12. When all that boils down to, the social worker was caught with a lie. She committed perjury openly. I had hired Mr. Davis. He was my attorney, and he was cross-examined the social worker. And my wife's sister and husband were trying to adopt our young daughter, who was 12 at the time. And the attorney, Vincent Davis, was asking the social worker, oh boy, I got something in the back of my throat. Has there been any domestic violence with my wife's sister and husband with them too? I mean, basically, Vincent started off soft, like, what is the behavior? Excuse me. I'm going to mute my mic for 1 second here while I cough this out. Here, I'm really sorry. My wife is sick, and so I hope I'm not getting what she has. But he starts in soft and asking what kind of a parents would they make to be to take care of our daughter. And of course, the social worker says, oh, they're great parents. Well, then he said, what about domestic violence? Has there been any domestic violence with them? And the social worker says, no domestic violence. Well, then Vincent, who's a really experienced and good attorney, addressed the social worker and pulls out a folder. And inside the folder, there's about 30 cases of domestic violence. Physical domestic violence. Physical domestic violence. And it was bad cases. Not the kind you want to take your child in or place your child with it. And I do apologize. Okay. So she lied. And she was so embarrassed. Vincent Davis is so good of an attorney. You guys want the best attorney in the country or the best attorney in the world? That's Vincent Davis. He has 39 years of experience fighting CPS. He's been in foster care himself, so he knows all about CPS and foster care and the way they operate. Furthermore, he is a trial attorney. He can do trials. Now, in CPS, there's no trials. It's all decided by a judge and the social workers. And the judges have the last say. But it should be a jury trial. Your peers are the ones that should make the decision based on the evidence. But CPS doesn't work that way. Now I'm going to put some messages up on my screen to help you interact with this room. There are 4 ways to interact, and the first one I put up there, you can see it. It's when you want to text messages and what to do and what to say and everything. So I don't need to regurgitate it. But anyway, this attorney, this Davis, was really good, but my social worker was bad. We had a perfect case for a civil lawsuit. Only trouble is, when the case was over, I had no money left to fight a civil lawsuit. That's the number one problem I see in fighting CPS is money. You're down and out. I just lost my job after working 60 years in 2010. Had a beautiful home. It took me 45 years to get. But I lost my job through no fault of my own. It was sort of a domino effect on my job. I had a lot of government contracts with a government entity that do a lot of construction work. They're awarded. They're public funds. Only problem is the government entity was going to go bankrupt. And the whole state was ready to collapse. So what they did is they used my money to use to keep the government afloat. And so I was supporting them. And that's hard. That is really, 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 really hard. And it's also been hard being caught up in CPS at that time of your life. It was really tough. You're worried about paying your mortgage and trying to keep your home. So I was fighting to keep my home. But also I was dealing with CPS every week, making complaints for 5 years before they finally took some action. You see, the downside or the bad side of it, a lot of the lay people misuse CPS for their own means. For their own means, meaning they'll make up stories just to cause you problems or to cause you headaches. So my in-laws, my wife's mother and father and 3 sisters and brother were making complaints once a week, every week, saying we weren't having the utility bills on, we weren't feeding the kids, we weren't taking them to school, we weren't showering them, we weren't taking. It was on and on and on. And every time I meet with the social workers or show my home, they couldn't find anything. But these complaints kept coming on every week because they wanted our children. We have beautiful children. And some people are really evil in this world. It's hard to believe that family members would go against one another. You know, I thought family is loving one another and taking care of one another and helping one another. I had no idea it was based on greed or trying to take advantage of someone or something like that. But it is really hard. And I know most of you talked to me about that. I mean, today, one girl, Cruel, from Ventura, California, Felicia, is so down and out because her mom lost her home. Her mom is very ill, can't take care. She has 5 babies. They're all in foster care. And she's lost her job. She's trying to get her job. It's sort of a domino effect. It's not right. She wants to see. She's not seen her children since September. And it's now almost February. So I'm really feel for you that you're going through this. I mean, this has come from a lot of people that are regular families. There's Betty Joe from Montana. There's Tessa from Northern California. There's JD from Los Angeles. There's Leica from South Africa, the West Cape. Then there is KK Richardson from Brooklyn, New York. The names go on and on. I talked to Kim from Michigan. And I talked to Philistine from Canada, who is Indigenous Indian. But I know what you're up against. But you got to follow these rules that I've come up with. There are 5 of them. You got to understand CPS. You got to know what you can do and what you can't do. Data, what's up? Okay, Data, what's up? This is Larry from San Diego. I think you've been on my show before. And let me try to help you out, Larry from San Diego, California. I thought I put your message up, but it disappeared. Oh, brother. I filed a federal lawsuit against CPS 2 weeks ago, but had them served 8 days ago. They have 21 days to respond. The clock is still ticking. Well, that's pretty gutsy to do that against the federal. Most people sue just the people in their county courts. They don't go to the federal. So that's really, really good. I'd like to know more about that, Larry from San Diego. It's a big undertaking. Then he also has filed a lawsuit against the San Diego Unified School District. It's been 8 days since they've been served. The clock is ticking. So you're suing the Unified School District, something the school did and something that the federal government did. Something there. You didn't sue the social worker or the CPS system in San Diego? So I'm kind of confused. But that's a big undertaking. I hope you use an attorney with that, Larry. Now, a third way to react with this podcast is to be a guest on my show. I have room for 9 spots. I can have up to total 10 people, including myself, on the show. Now, I'm on twice a day. I'm on at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time in the morning and 7 o'clock at night Pacific Standard Time in the evening. I'm on for 1 hour each time there, twice a day, Monday through Sunday, every day. I've been doing this now for 15 months. So if you want to be on my podcast as a guest, because a guest is nice because you're guaranteed to talk. If you have to wait to take turns, call my phone, sometimes it gets busy. But you're going to write an email to my show producer. Her name is Grace, and she does a tremendous hard work to keep the shows running smoothly. Thank you, Grace. So you let her know what day you want to be on my show as a guest. Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, morning, or evening. Now, there are 2 days during the week. It's on the weekend. I come on a little bit earlier. I come on at 8 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday. 8 o'clock on Saturday, Sunday. I'll let you know of any other changes. So those are my hours. What time you just email her. She'll send you a link and give you instructions of how to be a live guest and what you can do and what you cannot do, what you can say. So just email her, grace@vincentwdavis.com. That's grace@vincentwdavis.com. The lawsuit against CPS and the school district is in federal court. What I'm asking is that why are you taking it to federal court instead of state court? Have you tried to do anything at the state level? Because federal come back and say you need to start at state first. I don't want you to waste a lot of time, but that may happen. No lawsuit against the federal government. Well, I'm confused now. I don't know what kind of lawsuit you're doing. Are you suing an individual? Are you suing the government? Let's see what else Larry says from San Diego. More lawsuits to be filed against the 3 judges, the attorneys, and a CPS worker. Wow, that sounds good. I'd like to hear that. I hope you have a fantastic attorney that's doing all this, because that's a lot of hard work. Wow. The vice president, the school counselor, and the school office clerk. That's a lot of lawsuits there, lots of people. That's really expensive, you know. It's really expensive. I'm going to put my phone number up. This is the 4th way that you could participate in this podcast. That's my number, 626-698-0990. It's my office phone, and I can answer on that. I use StreamYard. I use Vonage as the phone internet for the phone calling. Vonage. That's Vonage. And it works on the internet. Now there's YouTube. I'm using YouTube to transmit, but I'm using an application called StreamYard. Now my phone number's up, and that means you can call in. All I ask you is that to be patient and talk, very professional. Now let's see what Larry's further saying about his lawsuit. I read that one there. You're suing the agencies. Looks like it's the directory suing everybody. Wow. Can you tell me what the lawsuit is about? What did they violate? Did they violate your civil law, your constitutional law? Did they commit perjury? What are you suing them for? Neglect? If you want to call in, then my phone number is up. You can call in. The other number you see on my screen is my attorney's office, and you can call that number if you know your mind's made up. You want to hire Vincent Davis to be your attorney. Also, if you want other attorneys for other laws like legal matters, divorce court, workman's place, like workman's comp, your employer. There's also, besides criminal, there's divorce, and there's real estate. Lots of different attorneys for lots of different things. So you can call there and get them. Now, it's important when you call that number that you say, Bob Pace sent me. And when you do talk to Vincent Davis, make sure you say that Bob Pace sent you. That is important. That's really, really, really important there. Now, Larry, who's the data guy, says, I start with federal because they broke federal laws. Federal courts are the expert in federal law. I have a better chance winning federal court than state court. I don't trust state court systems anyway. That's a good point. That's a good point. But sometimes the federal court will throw things out if you haven't tried at the state level. At the state level, that's what you got to be careful about. What's the status of your children, Larry, in San Diego? What's the status of your children in San Diego? Are you able to see them? Understood there, Larry. That's what's up. Mm. Mm. Civil law and constitutional. They did an ex parte communication with a judge in another jurisdiction that was a dependency court to interfere with other cases, extortion and kidnapping. I'm glad you're bringing it up because that is a good point. Your constitutional rights and your civil rights get violated all the time, and you can sue the agency for that. No, I have that. I just. Wow, witness tampering in Rico? Boy, that's pretty bad. You got some pretty serious charges against them. Status is my daughter is placed out of state. It's been a year since I saw her or spoken with her. How old is your daughter? How old is your daughter? And that's too long. You should be able to see her. Have you lost your rights to your? Have you lost your legal rights to your daughter? Welcome, Hastiden. Welcome to my podcast. Do you have a first name and a place where your case was in? You could share with us? That'd be great. Okay, that's a big word. Okay. I have no idea where you're from, but could you share the country or province you're from? Wow, you're from Indonesia. Wow, that's far away. I've been there. It's a nice place. I've been to Kuta Beach. I've been to I've been to a lot of different places strictly for surfing. But welcome. I have a new country. Now we're at 21 countries. Indonesia. That's hard to believe that CPS is so corrupt around the world. It's so hard to believe. That little thing in the back of my throat's trying to calm down. Well, I'm so glad to have you here and welcome to my show. And if you want to tell me about your case, I'd gladly try to help you. My daughter was 12 when she was taken. I agree. That is really tough. I know what you're saying there, Larry from San Diego. That is really, 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 really tough. Those teenage years are the hardest years for children today. Our world is really a big, lot of things going on. A lot of things going on. So Larry says the case still open, but they want to terminate my legal and custody rights. Well, here's my question. From all my experience in talking with Vincent Davis, who's my attorney, you can't file a lawsuit against CPS unless your case is over. So I'm really puzzled how you're able to file this lawsuit. What are you doing that's different? What are you doing that is different? Now, I've told you about the 4 ways to interact with this podcast. First way is just be in this room and taking notes. Send me emojis. Those are nice. Thumbs up, the hearts, smiley faces. Also, please check below the follow. And then if you want to be reminded when I'll be on, check that button also there. Now, the second way is to interact in this podcast room and by text and messages. That is great. I like to have messages I can respond to. The third way is to be a guest on my podcast, to sign up and be a guest to show up. And of course, lastly is to call in to my number, 626-698-0990. I'll be gladly to talk to you. I'll be glad to talk to you. Now, our friend from Indonesia says, hello. Okay. You're from Indonesia. I know that. Can you tell me about your case from Indonesia? And Larry says, well, that's my number. Why is that coming up and not what Larry says? Okay, similar issue here. We have a new person, Delete a Better Pen. Welcome. And what city, county, state, country you're from. A little about your case would really help. Now, Larry says from San Diego, I filed a motion for it to be transferred from state to federal court. And D-Light says similar issues. Well, that's terrible. Well, welcome, D-Light. Welcome very much. I'd like to know where you're from in this world. Data, who is Larry, I think the judge is waiting for the agency to respond to the lawsuit. Well, I hate to tell you this, I think the lawsuit is going to be dropped because you haven't completed your case yet. When you file a civil lawsuit, you cannot have any existing cases going on. They got to be closed. Were you looking for soap or the Snuggles?
Yeah, the Snuggles.
Yeah, they're up there. Now, Larry says the CP case went through all phases of the case, even the appeal. So it's like, let's transfer it into federal court. Plus, the agency wants to terminate jurisdiction. Well, all I know is that I've been told or experienced is that you cannot file a lawsuit against any entity unless your case is closed. I mean, that's basic law, I guess, 101, but you must be doing something, or maybe, do you have any rights to your children? Are your rights gone? Have been formally adopted? Are they now out of your life, your children, your daughter who's turned 14? Okay, D-Light says right now, Jacksonville, Oregon. Well, welcome. But where were you when your case opened up, D-Light? Where's your original case with CPS, and what is your case about? I'm very curious what you have, so I can help you with your case. So we got Oregon, we got California, and we had someone just come in. NYP. NYP, welcome. NYP is from Canada, if I'm not mistaken. And they've been in here loads of times. Welcome. So we have Indonesia and Canada tonight. This is great. And California. Yeah, I know. The colds are sometimes in this winter time. You try not to get them, but sometimes it's hard not to. Oh, you're in California, City, California. That's right. That's right. The California city. Yeah. I'm sorry, NYP. So we have two of you tonight from California. We have San Diego and California City, and both of them are in California. We have one from Indonesia. We have someone from Oregon, too. Daylight. The Clatsop County District Attorney, prosecutor, was my landlord. Okay. They smeared me for years. Worked on alienation and then lied, so I left. But they didn't intend to sell. He used his own court to be a dad. Wow. That was really corrupt. Was that in Oregon? Was that in Oregon when all that was coming on? Now, Larry from San Diego says, I'm also suing the appellate attorney. He didn't do his job. He contracted me for the first time 8 days before the deadline. He then fled the partial brief late after the deadline. Well, you should also register a complaint with the state. Larry's Sacramento. You need to file a complaint with that attorney. You can file a complaint to the bar because his license can be taken away. I don't know what he did, but Clatsop County, okay. Clatsop County, is that in Oregon? Yes, he said it is in Oregon. Okay. Yeah, Delight. Thank you. Okay. Now, That's What's Up, who is Larry from San Diego, said the appellate attorney said he didn't find any legal errors. I found over 10 legal errors, minimum. Plus, he contacted me 8 days to the appellate deadline, introduced himself as my appellate attorney. Well, I hope you're not paying him because it sounds like he's a complete buffoon. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, another way that you can talk to a real attorney for somebody that really hard pressed is if you call in on my phone number or you're on my show, I'll set you up with Grace, my producer here, who will set you up with a free 15-minute private Zoom consultation with Mr. Davis, the real deal. But you have to either call in on my phone or be a guest on my show before I could send your name over to get a private consultation with Mr. Davis. Another way you can talk to him, if you want to talk to him for 30 minutes, by the way, that time is 15 minutes free. Now, if you want to talk to longer than 50 minutes, let's say 30 minutes, it'll cost you $60 for 30 minutes. And all you have to do is follow that web link that is in one of the, on the bottom of my ticket there. You put your credit card in, reserve your time with him, and he'll talk to you for 30 minutes for $60. 30 minutes for $60. So that's another way you can talk to Vince Davis. Also, Vince Davis has lots of podcasts. So he's going to have questions and answers. You can talk to him then. So the be a guest on my show or the call in on my show will entitle you to free 15-minute social time with Mr. Davis. Okay, we're slowly on our show here. We have about 13 minutes left of our show here. Now, D-Light from Oregon, I think he was in cahoots with the men. Okay, well, you'll find out that the judge, the attorneys, the public defender, the attorneys for social worker, they're all in cahoots, along with the bailiff. They go to lunch together, they play golf together. So they're in cahoots. You're not going to get a fair trial, or if not trial, but you're not getting a fair hearsay by using a court-appointed attorney. They'll just end up milking you dry. Astoria. Is that in Oregon, Astoria? I need to get my geography right there. With mental health. Okay. All right. Understood. You can call anytime. There's about 10 minutes left of my podcast. I'm over at 8 o'clock, so it's important. So my number's up. You can call in. I just had someone else call in, and they got their question answered and left. Now we have NYP from California City, California. I have jurisdiction hearing come up in February on the 10th. That is the same like a trial? Not really. It's different. A trial is where they prove that you did commit neglect or abuse. The jurisdictional coming up is more of an update, and basically they're trying to take away your rights to your children. Well, thank you. I would like to help you all. It hurts me to hear what you're going through. If I knew what I knew now, I never would have lost my daughter. I never would have lost my daughter. Call right now. As I say, you got about 10 minutes. You can call and talk to me for 10 minutes. My phone line is open. Delight, you can call in right now. Okay, mental health. All right, understood. You never got an attorney. Well, how are you fighting your case without an attorney? You see, you have to understand, fighting CPS is like open heart surgery. Would you use a layperson to cut open your body cavity, take out the heart, and work on it? You need to have a professional, someone with expertise on that. Someone with expertise. Okay, Delight, I'm waiting for you to call. My phone's open, so let me go here. Bonnie's, there it is. Okay, we got a call in. Is that from you, Delight?
No, it's NY.
Oh,
Hey, we got a
okay.
call in.
All right, okay.
That's from you,
Delight was trying to
Delight?
call you too. Okay, that's right. You
Oh,
hold on 1 second. Hold on. Delight?
hello. Hi, yes, it's me. Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for taking my call.
You're late because NYPD just called me, but I'll be right with you. Okay?
Sure, no problem.
Hold on. Okay. Well, NYP, you hung up. Okay. Let me go back to Delight. Okay. I guess Delight, NYP decided to hang up. Okay. Delight, how can I help you?
Yeah. Hi. So, it was really an inside job. I had no idea. You know, my kids were saying that, you know, they're talking about you. My bosses were saying they're talking about me. You know, the police kept saying weird things to me. Like every time I, you know, would try to reach out for mental health help, you know, which was always denied to me. The cops would just come to my house and say weird stuff, and then all of a sudden, he has the landlord, his wife said, "Oh, my husband had a stroke, so we're going to sell the house." And so I agreed to move out, and I had no idea what was coming, and they followed me for a couple more months to where I was, and one day he was still texting my daughter on her phone, and I did not know this because they were acting like my friends. You know what they're saying? We only want the best for you. You know, we care about your family so much. And like, I'm autistic. I didn't really understand what was the end result, you know, or like what this was all coming up like as a pattern to end up as.
I'm a little confused about the players involved here. It's like you keep referring to who's making the text messages.
The district attorney of the Clatsop County.
Okay, so a district attorney is writing text messages, and who's he writing to?
My daughter, who he took for his own in his own courtroom. I haven't seen her since.
Wait a minute. How old is your daughter?
She was the day before her 14th birthday.
Why is he taken? Why is a grown man? Is this man married?
Yes.
Why is he texting your daughter? That's not right. She's a minor.
They were working on alienating them.
Well, that is called.
Saying things like, "Aren't you
You could call the police right now and make a complaint against a man.
Well, since he's the prosecutor, the police
doesn't make any difference. You could call the governor if you have to. You could call the governor, or you can call the sheriff, or you can call the chief of police. That's wrong. No man should be texting a 14-year-old that's not part of the family.
Yeah, him and his wife both did.
Well, that is wrong. That's irrelevant. I mean, they are overstepping their bounds, and you could sue them. They're violating the civil rights of your daughter.
Yeah, I went to take her phone for an hour because she was being disrespectful, and that was the way that, I discipline my kids. Like, we take a timeout, give me your phone, for a little bit because you need a break, right? And she ran out the door. I did not know at the time that it was to keep what he was saying to her private, so I did not see it. And the DA, he took that phone from her. Like, immediately, I called the police, and they're like, we're not going to tell you where she is. About 5 hours later, 5 police officers come to my house, pointing guns at my head, and say, sign your rights away, sign your rights away. And it wasn't until 4 months later that Child Protection, even said anything to me. And it's just so ridiculous. They just said, your kids never want to see you again. That was it.
Wow. You need to go to the capital of the state of Oregon to register a complaint with the civil rights coordinator, because that's wrong what they're doing.
Okay.
They have civil rights.
It's terrifying.
They have a civil rights coordinator at the capital of Oregon who handles complaints, and you have a very legitimate complaint. I don't care if the guy is president of the United States. That is inappropriate for them to be texting to your daughter.
It was so inappropriate. And my next door neighbor was a CASA, and I brought my daughter over to see her when she started acting defiant, because my daughter said she wanted to talk to somebody. She was in therapy and stuff, but they never got those records because they never asked. And he threatened the CASA not to speak. Like, she was going to, and then one day she called me and said, I'm sorry, they were just here, and I can't say anything.
Yeah, the Guardian of Lightum and the CASA, the Guardian of Lightum and the CASA and all those people are peripheral baggage. They're no good. All they do is listening ears. They report to CPS. You shouldn't talk to CASA. You shouldn't talk to anybody. The only person you talk to is your attorney.
Yeah, it turns out the attorney I thought I had, she wasn't even my attorney.
Was she a court-appointed one?
Well, it was his own courtroom, so I don't exactly know what happened with that. I really don't. Nobody ever told me anything. They never gave me any paper. They didn't even tell me about court. Okay,
here's how it's supposed to happen. Someone calls in to register a complaint against you being either neglect or abuse. They call in either about you, your husband, or both. I mean, if you still have a father.
And since we were in therapy every single week, both of us were. None of them ever called because I wasn't doing anything. It was a personal thing because his wife said, we're going to paint you into a corner by yourself. And I did not know what that meant.
Why are they doing revenge? Why are they doing revenge?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Did you rub them the wrong way or something?
Well, I'm autistic, and I guess I probably did. I'm really not sure. I think maybe they just didn't like. I don't know. They were like, "We want the best for your family." I really don't know what happened.
Have you tried to talk to managers, the supervisor, or the director of CPS there?
No.
Well, okay.
Should I do that?
Yeah. Well, here's your problem.
Because everybody in that
they're taking advantage of you. Now, if they're all bad, what you really need to do is get yourself an attorney.
That's my move.
You need to get yourself an attorney. Without an attorney, you're not going to do anything with your case. Do you know anything about open heart surgery?
A little bit, actually. I'm from Minnesota, and we were the first ones to invent it.
Okay. All right. Well, open heart surgery takes a specialist to work on it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A plumber couldn't do open heart surgery. You as a layperson couldn't do open heart surgery. It has to be a professional. Well, that's how CPS is. You need a professional attorney, someone trained in the areas of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. That's what you need. I think I might
also need an expert in psychology.
Well, I'm trying to tell you, in the court, they're not interested in psychology. They're interested in the law. If you're involved, if your children are a minor, they're under the age of 18, and they're taken from you, then you're in dependency court, not criminal court.
But is it a legal case at all because he did it in his own courtroom as the prosecutor? Like, it's an abuse of power. It's nepotism.
Well, first of all, there's no prosecutor or jury trial in dependency court. There's only the judge, and then there's the attorneys. There's no prosecutor.
Well, the district attorney, isn't that the same thing?
Well, district attorney is a prosecutor, but that's for criminal matters.
Oh, I see. So that's why he did it. That's why he could do it.
Well, because maybe there's a criminal charge he wants to charge against you. Have you been charged with a criminal matter?
No.
Well, domestic violence is a criminal matter. Most people don't know that.
The only domestic violence is there was none in my house. I was a single mom.
Well, I understand that, but I thought maybe you were being accused of domestic violence with your spouse.
No, I really don't know. They've never showed me a piece of paper. He just said, "She's bad, Your Honor." And they obviously knew each other, so that's how that happened. But see, he took my daughter's cell phone when she ran away, and he said he's using it as evidence. But the evidence of him alienating my children and manipulating them is on that phone.
Well, first of all,
you
don't give phones to the. This prosecutor, you must have a kangaroo court in a kangaroo state. This is really far-fetched.
If you look up an article in the U.S. Observer, Ron Brown, it's right there. I wasn't the one to write that, and that was before it happened to me.
Okay. Well, do you have funds to hire an attorney?
No, and I think maybe that's why they picked one of the reasons.
Oh, yeah, because they know that you can't defend
and
yourself,
target.
and then they can get $20,000 a month for your child for month until the child's 18. Plus, they get a bonus if she gets adopted into foster care of $6,000. They get incentive bonuses.
And they did this. They did this during the COVID moratorium and when the child tax credit refund started. So I wonder if there's a way to check if he took that. Is this part of it? I wonder. I don't know, but it was really scary, and it still is because it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. It does not at all.
Yeah. So that's why I moved to a different county, and I'm just really, I just can't go away. I just am really bothered. Are my kids okay? I don't think they are. They can't be after enduring all that. But I didn't see what was going on at the time.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to wind down my show because it's after 8:00.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you can't call me back tomorrow at 10:00 in the morning or 7:00 at night. That also goes for NYP from California City, California. Please call me back tomorrow. I'm sorry I cannot take two of you. By the way, if any of you want to be on the show together, be my guest because I can have 9 of you up there.
Okay.
Now,
No problem.
I want to thank you, and also I want to let you know, would you like to speak to a real attorney?
Absolutely.
Okay. I have a real attorney, Vincent Davis. You probably heard him at the beginning of my show, and you'll hear him at the end of my show. You probably watched him. Well, since you called in on my phone and you spoke, you're entitled to a free 15-minute consultation with Mr. Davis. It's on Zoom.
Thank you so much.
So you'll be able to talk to him, a real attorney. You got to make your list of questions, prioritize them, and ask away. He will help you.
Okay.
All you have to do is the number that you call, you have to text. And what you do is you text your name, your full name, your email, and your phone number.
Okay.
And my producer, Grace, who I'll send that over to her, will help you arrange. You have a consultation, a private one with Mr. Davis. And he is really
Thank you
a
so very
pit bull attorney, and he'll help you map. He'll give you strategies, and he'll talk to you. Okay. So
Thank you so much.
it's
Bless
all
you
right.
for the
Just
work
say
you do.
say you're from Oregon, and that you have a horrible CBS case, and spend maybe a minute or two talking about your case, and then ask away your questions. Ask away your questions. Okay?
Thank you, sir. I hope your cold gets better. Have a great night.
I
Thank
will.
you.
Thank you. And make sure you call again. It's a pleasure meeting you from
Yes.
Oregon. All right. Bye-bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, I'm going to wind down the show. We went over the time, but I do want to thank NYP from California City, California. I want to thank the lady that just called in, D-Light from Oregon. Thank you so much there. And I want to thank Larry from San Diego, California, with all your questions and concerns. That was great. And that was Larry there. He was another name is Data Think there. And then we have let me see, we have D-Light. We have Larry was the one that's called Data. And then we have NYP. I'm trying to read all the people I have in here. Data White. And then we had our new country. We had Hasanin from Indonesia. And I'm so glad to hear from you, Hasanin from Indonesia. That's great. That's great. I think I got everybody. So what I'm going to say to y'all is don't give up. Keep fighting it. Listen to my other shows. I talk about my 5 rules that help you save your children. And whatever you do, take care of yourself. Love one another. God bless you. And this is Bob Pace signing off. You'll hear a brief message from Vincent Davis. Good night.
Feeling lost in the maze of CPS? Desperate to get your child back? You're not alone. Countless parents face the heart-wrenching reality of family separation. The legal system can be overwhelming, but there's hope.
Now, here's the key. Babe, that's how you win a 6-month hearing.
Thank you.
If you do all of those things, you're going to blow your social worker's mind, you're going to blow your attorney's mind, and you're going to blow away the judge.
With attorney Vincent W. Davis, a dedicated legal expert with 39 years of experience, committed to helping families like yours. Join his weekly live Q&A on Zoom, where you can ask your burning questions about CPS cases. Get the knowledge and strategies you need to fight for your child's return.
Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is a question and answer session.
Are you ready to take control of your family's future? Participate as a one-time guest. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the first step towards reuniting your family. Join us now.